Good morning, guys. Hope you're having a great day. And trial members, this will be your last day, obviously in the trial week. Thank you for being with us for the entire week, and hope you guys found value in what we do. And so today is quad witching. It's a quad witch day. Just to first go over what exactly is quad witching, right? Many of you guys might be wondering. Some of you guys might have done your research. Some of you guys have been trading with us for long enough. You have exposure to it, and some of you guys probably knew it beforehand. Four things on quad witching. Quad four, right? Options on stock index futures expire today. Stock index futures contracts expire today. Single stock options expire, and stock index options expire. All right. The terminology in some seem the same, so you might be a little bit confused, like what exactly they all are, right? Just go online and you can do your research and you can get more insight into it. Now the question is on quad witching day, usually people expect a lot of volatility. All right, there used to be a lot of volatility. Last year, March was the most volatile quad witching day. The rest were somewhat quiet, but today, because SPX ran so much, if I go on the daily channel, on SPY S&P, we had the last 3 days. This is a huge rally that took place, right? The question is on quad witching, can we still get some violent moves? Personally, when I was talking to T last night, I told him, like, man, quad witching, I know we're all expecting big moves, but personally, I'm not really expecting much out of it, right? Because I went over the options flow. I go over it manual before I even look at the swap gamma. Now, I go over the flow manually just myself to see what's happening with it. But today, I sort of had a sense that we might not have a volatile day. Right, on quad witching, everyone's expecting volatile moves. I think we're gonna need some serious headlines from Russia, Ukraine, China, USA, some sort of serious headline for a serious move, right? And that too to the downside only. All right, a downside is only gonna happen if there's some major negative headline in the market, and we can see a huge downside. Upside is limited because of the huge resistance levels, right? So this is something you guys need to understand. Today, I think what's gonna happen if you guys open up the gamma report also. The 4400 level on SPX, so around that level, and the 440 strike on SPY has a huge call interest, all right, and then 435 puts have a huge option interest as well. Now the thing here is what exactly happens today. Personally, here's what I think is going to happen, right? According to my experience, as much experience I have, so 4380 is our volatility trigger, which is going to act as a very hard resistance, all right, hard resistance. This is what's going to happen, and then 4330 will be strong support in my opinion, and then above 4380, if we do hold, are probably looking at 4400, 4420 as top target for me, all right, as top target to close the day. Because I think on the weekly they might close strong. If we go on the SPX weekly chart here, you guys can see on the weekly we're just at the 50 MA. The 50 MA is 4422. So there's a good chance that we just hit the 50 MA and we close there. Usually on the weekly, 50 MA is very well respected in the sense that we can easily get rejected or just stop here to close the week. All right, or maybe a little bit downside towards 4400. Okay, so that's what's happening with the SPX 50. But personally, this is what I'm expecting, and I'll just make my text a little bit bigger. Right, so 4380 is volatility trigger. That's going to act as resistance support. I think we'll reach there sometime during the day, or we should be there right now around. We're minor red in the market, and then 4330 will be a strong support. If we do get 4330, I will likely pick up some calls. Right, I don't care what's happening out there with the Russia Ukraine, because this is the way this is shaping up for today only. We might close near this top resistance. All right, and then in the coming days. Now, the forecast, Trini said that the forecast is pretty much on point in pre-market and post-market. One thing that I do want to say, it's not that we know these things, it's just that something that we can just see by our experience, and they happen to be right. But catching the day-to-day moves is the most trickiest part. Right, forecast, many people will be right, but how about playing that forecast and actually making money from it? I think we're doing pretty good, not bad. But on the daily, I do see S&P reaching this top resistance level right here. Personally, I do see this, and I really hope we get it, because this is what I'm personally waiting for. I'm just waiting for this zone to be approached, right? This zone. And what is this zone? Let's extend this. That's right here. This is where the first major resistance was. At 4500, if we get 4500 XPX, 4500 SPX, Ricky will start building his further out put positions. Yep, put positions. right? Now, why? Is given the market circumstances, given the inflation going up high with the oil rate, because all these things will have an impact. And then, obviously, now that the hedges have been removed or will be removed today from the market, next week, if we do happen to go here, we might consolidate here for a bit, whatever may happen. But I do see the market falling towards 3,900 in the coming weeks. It could be next week, it could be in April, it could be in May. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I do expect it. Maybe we will consolidate for a few days like this, for 5-6 days, nothing might happen. Volatility will just die down. And then when the hedges are not properly placed to a downside, that's when the market might take a big downside, right? And obviously, if the market, some headlines come unexpected, there are not a lot of put positions after today, then they might just drop the market when nobody will be expecting it. All right, so these are all the scenarios that can play out. But personally, if I get this zone right here, right, I will start building onto my positions in some stocks, and obviously I will probably sell premium and SPY as well. SPY premiums are amazing if you do some bear spreads. All right, so that's my SPX take for the coming days. And Biden and Z, I don't know how to say his name, the Chinese guy, they're talking at 9 o'clock, and then let's see what happens there. And then we have GME. GME had earnings. I hate going over this chart, but just because some of you degens play it, right? The GME chart right here, they're now down, I think 7% pre-market. They had some unexpected losses, and obviously every company today is just saying the same thing when they missed their earnings. Oh, we have supply chain issues, right? Their revenue was in line, but the earnings were not too good, and then they're looking to get into NFT. But let's see. But this chart is completely broken. It's a very bad chart. It's gonna take a long time before this chart settles. So if you're a GME meme lover, you play these names. Personally, I would avoid. If you really want this name, have a order in around $40, I would say. Right? It's probably gonna test these levels sometime this year, maybe. I think it will. I'm pretty confident it will hit this zone one more time. All right. So that's GME. Don't forget these companies like Tilray. They also had their days at 300 and whatnot. If you guys go back in the days. Tilray also had his time. You guys see this? This is Tilray. Those that play names. And GME does not look anything different than here. Right? So GME can just continue going like this, and all the young kids will be holding these big bags. All right. And then we have FedEx. Their earnings were they missed their earnings per share. Right? They missed their earnings per share. They beat their revenues, but they also said that they're facing some shortages from workers because due to COVID. Right? I did not read up on their guidance, but for now, if we just go on the FedEx monthly chart, these are very strong companies, right? But sometimes when they take a hit, right? And they take time to go down slowly. But here, it's at a very strong supply and demand area, FedEx, right? It's at a very strong supply and demand area. So it might just consolidate here for a few weeks, few months, all right? And then obviously rising costs, then we see what happens. However, if it manages to close below this 50 MA on the monthly, then in the coming months, it might even see lower. But here, it's not in play, in my opinion. Some might say this is a head and shoulders. Yes, it could be head and shoulders, who knows? But it takes a long time to play. This big move already happened on FedEx. Now for the big move down or up, well, to the downside, if it's going to happen, the market has to be really weak, right? We need to see more volatility. Now comparing this with UPS, this is an absolute beast. This is a very strong chart, right? But is the UPS going to dip? I think it will. It just needs some time, right? Because this is a very strong, solid chart. It actually holds up levels, right? A United Parcel. So when some of you guys are trying to average down on your options, I don't know why you average down, right? Because we did play the UPS here. We nailed Etsy. We nailed so many put plays, but there's one play, because I think people made a lot of money in all the put plays. You guys had your gains, and some of you I think may have gone in heavy. Nobody told you to. We don't say this. We always say position sizing is the key, right? So UPS here on the weekly is strong, but the most foolish mistakes some of you guys were making. I'm sorry for my wording, but and I was hinting that in the chat that it's strong. Why are you guys averaging down? There's no reversal signal here whatsoever, right? And then the market is rallying, market is strong, right? There was absolutely zero reason to average down. There still is absolutely zero reason to average down, because if the market holds, even consolidates, and UPS, the way the chart is looking, it goes through this resistance, it's probably going to go towards 250. Is that going to happen? I don't know. Am I going to build another short position into it? Probably not. I'm probably just going to hold what I have, but this chart is too strong and it does not move down too much. We need a very, very bad day in UPS to get paid, right? So UPS, ignore this chart, stop averaging down, let it do its thing. But one chart that you must keep an eye on is AXP, American Express. Why? The moves here are volatile. It gives directional moves. Look, it gives us these directional moves, right? The moves are volatile. This is where you want to these are the stocks that you want to pay attention, not to UPS or something that doesn't even move or freezes, right? I also bought puts, but at that time it was looking sweet for a nice little downside, but UPS was the one stock that actually held, all right, in the market. But we nailed all the other names. But here on the XP now, I'm just waiting until next week. I think the volatility may die down again, and we might get some consolidation here, something like this. I have no idea, maybe happens. And then we see, is it building a case to upside bull flag or downside? That I don't know yet. If I see downside reversal signals, obviously I will probably take puts. Why? Because the monthly now, it might just be retesting at the highs. So if I remove my drawings here, the monthly is basically kind of building a hanging man. And this candle usually is very bearish. This candle is usually very, very bearish. If we don't close green, if we close red like around here, right, like this on AXP, is a very bearish candle, and there's good chances that we're gonna come and retest this 160, 170 again in the coming 1-2 months. So what do? We build up a position into maybe May or June, because March is almost over now. All right, so that's how you look at these charts. So that is said, let the plays come to you, right? Another thing on SPX yesterday when I played my puts, right, I gave you guys the entry when the put option, you know, we got the 436 puts, I believe, for next week on SPY. I gave the entry at $3 when those options were trading at 380. Why? Is because the trend was strong. I saw that entry coming. Right now, the thing is, I entered right here on my puts. I entered right here, right? But because of the VIX going down, they were losing a lot of value pretty fast. All right, so I was right here. But they gave us these two green candles, and then it consolidated for about 20 minutes. So basically with that, while VIX was going down, those options lost about, I think, 7 to 8% value. They were trading at 280. But my play was still in play. Why? Because if this resistance is not rejected, what's going to happen? It's going to go up like it did, and then it's likely going to retest this trend right here, which it did. That allows me to get out at break even. Right, but obviously it was building a top reaction I held, and then finally it did hit my target at 340 for the exit, but I took my profits a little way too early because of this failed scenario. So I took little profits, not too much. So I sold mine at 310, 312. Some of you guys sold at 315, but that one play profits are not huge. But because I stayed to my plan, I followed my plan. At least I avoid a loser. And then I did mention use this retest as an advantage to take your profits now, because you know the trend was strong. All right, there was no reason to hold, so we took our profits. A great trade, not too much profits, but that's fine. But the thing is, it was a very high probability trade. It was a very, very high probability trade because there's a lot of resistance at this level. I was not trying to catch this. I was not trying to catch this resistance, but a very strong resistance. So today on SPX, what I'm trying to look at, I'll give you guys my play right now. The two plays that I'm eyeing, so I'll go on the 30-minute chart. The two simple plays that I'm eyeing on SPX, right? I'm going to ignore all the noise right here. This zone right here, which happens to be roughly 43.30, I believe. So this zone for a call buy, right? A nice little call. Obviously, I'll see how the market builds up if there's no negativity, and then I will buy some calls for the upside. And if we get to right here, and if we hit 44.20 by any chance in the morning, if we do hit this chance, then I will likely build a put position just for a scalp. All right. So I'll buy puts. These are the only two zones I'm looking: 44.20, 43.30. In between, I am not playing. It's a gambler's zone, I promise you. You can look at the 1 minute candle if you're scalping fast, that's fine. But if you want confirmed trades, some of you guys have spoken to me with me on the phone, whatnot. These are the levels, and you have to be very patient with it. Some of you guys have a hard time sitting back on your chair and watching the market. You guys are trying to look for trades every 5 minutes. You're gonna get screwed. You can't trade like that. I've done that for a long time in my life, and trust me, I paid my tuition fees. So whatever I'm telling you, it's only for your benefit. Gamma report is in our channel, Carlos. If you guys don't know, pre-market prep, right? That's the channel on Discord. You guys will see it. Just go in there and you'll see all the Gamma report posted, right? And there are many other channels if you don't know. Where we post a lot of useful information, so please do check it out. And be patient. Be very patient. Another thing to do today, if you're an advanced options trader, is iron condors. Right? What are iron condors? Very quickly, right? You sell them for credit. You don't buy them, you sell them. Maybe I will do some SPY iron condors where I will sell this premium and I will sell some premium underneath, right? And I'll hold it for 1-2 hours and I should get maybe 25, 30, 40% profits. So basically I'm selling this premium to the market and I'm selling this premium to the market, defined with risk, obviously, right? Loss will be defined. It's not infinity because some people do naked. I don't have that kind of funds yet. right? Maybe one day in my life I will. But for now, I'm looking at iron condors today for SPY. I may sell some premium up here and down here. Volatility on quad witching usually is expected, but this time there might not be too much. So don't go crazy or expecting what's going to happen on quad witching. There's too much hype built around it. God bless, manage well. Premium or trial members, if you like what we're doing, we have a discount code. If you guys want to sign up, please let us know in the group. I'll post it. And it was a pleasure having you guys. And today in the evening, the access will be cut down. And thank you.